"You're under arrest for trespassing on your own property," the cop nearly shouted, until I flashed my deed. Sharon Baxter had been terrorizing Mirror Lake for months, sicking police on anyone who dared breathe without her approval. She threatened me with a $50,000 lawsuit, filed fake police reports, and even tried bribing county officials to boot me off my own land. Plot twist. She had no clue I was her landlord, renting her that $800,000 McMansion. Dawn broke over Mirror Lake, Oregon, pine scent mingling with morning mist. Suddenly, blue police lights flashed across my grandfather's cabin. Gravel crunched as squad cars rolled up, and there was Sharon, pink bathrobe blazing, pointing at me like I was a master criminal. What would you do if someone called the cops? For fishing on your own dock? Drop your thoughts below. Where are you reading from? I'm betting many of you have HOA horror stories. I'm Ethan Harper, and 3 years ago, I thought I'd found paradise. After 20 years in military logistics and a divorce that felt like a tank ran me over, driven by my ex-wife's lawyer, I inherited my grandfather's 1960s A-frame cabin on Mirror Lake. Population 3,200, where the worst drama was Mrs. Henderson's cat swiping fish from docks. The cabin's simple, sitting on 2 acres of heaven. Mornings greeted me with loons calling over glass smooth water, dock boards worn slick by 40 years of Oregon weather, air so clean it erased decades of Army diesel fumes. It smelled like childhood, cedar, pine, and that metallic tang of lake water at dawn. For 2 years, Mirror Lake lived up to its name. 47 properties dotted 8 miles of shoreline, blue-collar locals and summer folks united by one rule: wave, help if someone's in trouble, and mind your own business. Then Hurricane Sharon stormed in. She snatched up the lake's ugliest McMansion, an $800,000 Dallas transplant plopped into Oregon woods. Within a week, she'd pontooned around, introducing herself in blinding white capris and neon cardigans, sweet as fake sugar, but with eyes like January ice. The morning it all kicked off, I was sipping coffee that tasted like peace, when her overpowered pontoon roared up, shredding the calm. "Yoo-hoo, neighbor." Sharon's voice hit like a tax audit. She docked, grinning like a used car salesman. "I'm Sharon Baxter from the Executive Estate." "Executive Estate? Please. I'm here on Mirror Lake HOA business," she declared, waving a manila folder like a game show prize. "New aesthetic standards say your rustic setups dragging down property values. That aluminum boat's gotta go, and your fishing gear looks like a bait shop exploded." My eyesore was a 1995 Lund that outfished her floating lounge, and the mess was my grandfather's hand-carved rod holders and a tackle box older than her. "Lady, my family's owned this land since before you were born. No HOAs on my deed, and there won't be." Her smile cracked, voice icing over. "We'll see, soldier boy." She gunned her engine, her wake slamming my dock, spilling my coffee. Her perfume and exhaust tainted the pine air, a threat lingering, as her mansion's windows glinted like predator eyes. My military instinct screamed, this was war. 3 days later, a violation notice was taped to my door like a cursed summons. Mirror Lake HOA demanded $500 for dock aesthetic failure, threatening liens if I didn't comply in 30 days. It looked legit, seals, case numbers, but was as real as a $3 bill. Most wouldn't know. Time for recon. Willow County's courthouse basement reeked of old leather and despair, dust motes dancing under flickering lights. I cozied up to Evelyn, a 70-something clerk who'd seen it all. "Another HOA victim?" she whispered, pulling my file with arthritic hands. "That Baxter woman's been here 6 times this month, yammering about liens. She doesn't know squat about property law." My deed was clean, no covenants, no HOA. But logistics taught me. Check what the enemy's hiding. Sharon's HOA, formed 18 months ago, had 12 of 47 properties, with 0 authority over mine. Then, a bombshell, Baxter Ventures LLC owned several lakefront homes. A quick search exposed her game. She was running an unlicensed vacation rental empire, turning family cabins into Portland party pads, while preaching standards. My grandfather's wisdom rang. Know who runs the city before fighting City Hall. Public records, ownership, licenses, restrictions were free online. I tested the waters. On Facebook. Anyone else get Mirror Lake HOA notices? Just curious. My phone lit up like a fireworks show. 8 residents shared Sharon horror stories. She'd bullied widows over bird feeders, families over mailbox colors. Laura, a retired librarian with CI-level organization, had a binder of evidence. Pete from the marina sent photos of Sharon's bounced checks. Even 90-year-old Mabel noted shady late-night activity at her family rentals. I formed the Mirror Lake Truth Squad group chat because fighting crazy deserves comic book flair. That night, Sharon called. Her voice syrupy venom. Ethan, your cute Facebook post is making this hard on yourself. Just asking questions, Sharon. You don't want to mess with me. I have connections. Click. She thought I'd scare easy. Big mistake. Veterans don't retreat. We strategized until 3 a.m. Tuesday. Sam Hendricks from Code Enforcement rolled up, looking like he'd rather be at a root canal. This is her 23rd complaint in 6 months. She's got us on speed dial. Then he spilled. Sharon tried slipping him $100 for creative code interpretations. She wasn't just a dictator. She was dipping into corruption. My grandfather's words echoed. Judge people by how they treat workers. Sharon intimidated or bribed. That evening, we crashed her emergency HOA meeting. A 6-person farce in her beige and gold great room. Her PowerPoint, protecting our investment, targeted non-HOA properties. Laura took notes like a war crimes tribunal. During a break, she overheard Sharon's phone call. Payments are coming. They're stubborn, but I've got plans, legal pressure, code enforcement, whatever. Red flags clicked. She was under financial pressure, using harassment to fund her empire. Her lawyer, a foreclosure specialist, confirmed she was drowning in debt. I filed a harassment complaint and contacted Evergreen Property Management, who were shocked at her lease violations. Deputy Sanchez, tracking her complaints, whispered, "She's on a thin line. We're watching." That night, waves lapped my dock, charcoal scents drifting from a neighbor's barbecue. Sharon underestimated us, uniting a community that valued peace. Thursday, 6:30 a.m., police tires crunched gravel, blue lights strobing. Sergeant Peterson, a weary veteran. 000 in Portland HOA fees, lost a lawsuit, and dodged debts with threats. Her rentals broke 3 zoning laws, unlicensed. Pete shared her $3,200 marina debt. The hardware store had footage of her. Charge disputes. Sharon's pattern: intimidate, dodge, repeat. Peterson urged me to file for false reports. As they left, Sharon's silhouette vanished from her window. My lawyer, Victor Lang, 78, with an office smelling of cigars and law books, dropped the bomb. Your grandfather's Evergreen Property Trust owns 4 properties, including Sharon's mansion. I'd been her landlord for 3 years, her rent funding my account. Her lease banned unlicensed businesses and harassment. She'd violated 14 terms, 2 months behind on rent. Eviction loomed, but Victor advised mediation first. Courts like reasonable landlords. I left his office grinning. The universe had a wicked sense of humor. Sharon was funding her own downfall. Victor's nuclear option playbook turned his office into mission control. Greg's report showed Sharon's $73,000 debt and tax liens. Laura's binder detailed her harassment. Sanchez stressed documentation. I added cameras, legal in Oregon, and planned mediation, then a public reveal if she refused. The Truth Squad, now 15 strong, shared her erratic moves. Pete banned her from the marina after she screamed at a teen. Her grocery store meltdown, filming customers, ranting about discrimination, went viral. Laura uncovered her history. 8 years of disputes, evictions, even car keying. Sharon's desperation peaked when my cameras caught her handyman sabotaging my boat at 2:17 a.m., costing $2,800. Sanchez called it felony property damage. Her meltdowns escalated. She bullied Mabel, who fired back with sailor-worthy curses. Online reviews tanked her rentals. Zoning probes began. Then, Sharon tried bribing Commissioner Bill Hayes with $5,000 to condemn my cabin. He reported her, as did Carl, the zoning inspector, who recorded her offering cash to ignore her violations. Sanchez logged her deputy bribe attempt. Victor warned of felony charges. The newspaper wanted my story. Sharon's final meltdown at the boat. Launch, screaming conspiracy before 27 witnesses. Ended with Mabel's epic takedown. You're the problem, honey. The town council meeting was a spectacle. 300 residents, TV crews, and Sharon in a white power suit. I presented Victor's slideshow, deeds proving I was her landlord, footage of her sabotage, and bribery recordings. The crowd roared. Her lawyers, good faith, claimed Drew laughs. Mabel yelled, good faith, my ass. I delivered my line. Sharon, I offered respect. You chose crime. The eviction notice silenced the gym. Sharon's conspiracy rant fizzled as Sanchez stepped closer. She fled to California in 14 days, leaving damage and a plea deal. Probation, 200 hours of community service. Justice tasted sweet. The Mirror Lake Advisory Committee rose from our truth squad, setting fair standards. We launched a scholarship fund with Sharon's rent, rewarding community service. Our fish fry fundraiser, with Mabel's storytelling win, became legend. Laura and I started dating, bonding over revolution and research. I rebuilt my grandfather's woodworking shop, teaching kids to create, not sue. Mirror Lake's conservation project went statewide. 3 lessons. Check deeds, search public records, and document everything. Our story inspired anti-HOA fights nationwide. Last week, Laura's sister faced predatory towing in Salem, same playbook. Greg's on it. Sunrise over Mirror Lake. Loons calling, smells of coffee and pine. It's home. My grandfather's wisdom holds. Standing up for yourself means standing for all. Share your HOA nightmares. Below. Was Sharon a villain or a desperate soul? Did justice go too far? Comment on right, wrong, and fighting bullies. Does the end justify the means?